Hey guys, welcome back to another New Fools video. We got one of the best Thrasios pilots. We got Wiesegamez. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How's it going? I wouldn't say the best.
Nah,
I'm
man, we
definitely
gotta
getting
build
there.
you up to break you down at this channel. Come on, brother.
Right.
How you doing, man? There's some Thrasios cradle in the air, and I had to get my boy. I had to get my boy out here.
I'm doing good. I'm preparing for a pretty big tournament in my local scene in 2 weeks, and so we just been grinding it out, getting some games in, and seeing how we can make the deck better.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody's talking about with the whole top decks dying thing. They don't know what to do. There's been so many tournaments every weekend. Like, it's been at least 20 every weekend. Like good tournaments. And it's just like, it's just going to get bigger. And then the 20K in I believe it's Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. Like, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And not to mention, there is still, like, good online TO groups. Like, shout out Demon Town Tournaments, by the way. Hit them up. They're doing some really good tournaments. Cheap entry. You get some good prizing back. If, hit them up. They do almost monthly tournaments. Shout out Tough Mulligans. They do free tournaments. I mean, so, like, we got all these good, like, TOs and online people. And let's not to mention, we got Land Go events. We got... down here, if you're in the southeastern area, there's a Beholder Games that does the SEC, which is another like invitational circuit. So I mean, like I think we're in a good spot. I think we're going in
Atlanta
a good direction.
too. The CCS, they do big tournaments.
CCS is a really cool place.
I've been there a few times.
It's nothing but a vendor store, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a mall for anime, and it's insane. I walked it 5 times and bought something every time, and I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, so a little backstory of CCS. My first time going there was for a 10K for the 2024 Invitational. It's an LCQ, a gold event. I walk in there at the time that we're doing this tournament. They're having a Goku voice actor meet.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I went to that one.
Yeah, the Beholder Games. Yeah, I was there too.
Where's my playmat at?
Oh, brother. Oh,
that game was sick. I went to the. Did you go to the Boil?
I did not get a chance to go to the Boil. Yeah, that one. Craig, Craig, my boy. He's a local.
No, that was a lot of fun. We might have played against each other, but who knows? But
if you ever play, if you played a Rocco person, then yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't remember. But anyways, back to it. You're first on the channel. Kind of. When'd you get into Magic, and then why'd you get into cedh? Everybody knows their set. Oh, I gotta hear it.
I'm actually considered very, very young in Magic because I didn't get into Magic until right before Baldur's Gate came out, and I want to say 2022. So I started playing Magic right there at that point, and I've never touched a Magic card before. Never even like tried to pick up the game. I used to do Yu-Gi-Oh, played Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. Shout out Stardust Dragon, best card in the game.
Anyways.
Yeah. So I got into it. Started playing with a couple people at the LGS. Really got into having the fun and trying to figure out because when you're playing casual, like the main thing about casual is like we want to see the deck do the thing. Well, I didn't just want everybody to do the thing. I wanted to win. Like, I just want to win, So I started doing that more and more and more, and then I switched LGSs, and I ran into somebody that was pretty known in the cedh scene, and that's whenever I found cedh. I never knew that there was a thing called cedh. I didn't know what was happening. I sat down, I'm thinking, okay, well, if these people are just, like, here to play to win, let's go. And I sat down with my 5-mana Selesnya Kyler the Sigardian Emissary deck at a cedh table, and I said, I'm here to play cedh, and got my ass stomped.
Yeah. Loved it.
Loved it, dude. I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, this is great. So I spent the next, I want to say, like, several months trying to make Kyler as cedh as possible, and then just finally gave up and built, proxied out Old Stick Fingers, Turbo News, as my first cedh, because I didn't realize that like there's specific like cedh decks that you need to probably if you want to do well with.
Yeah.
I just because I had like a old stick fingers deck as well, and I was like, he's cool, he can be cedh, And then I started just evolving slowly from there and started playing more. And then I met the online crew with the chaos tournaments, Mox Masters. There's several like people that was there, and that's whenever I built Captain Sisay, the Selesnya Sisay. Didn't really find much love in it, and it was slow, too slow for me. Well, that's whenever I ran into John. We both know John. He was he used to be a Rocco pilot, and that's when I ran into him, and I found out about Rocco, and that's where it all was set in stone
Rocco.
for me. And so yeah, and then I started playing with Rocco, started top 16 like a few tournaments, and now I'm here, and I've transferred over, and then of course the bands hit, and then I transferred over to Yoshi Thras.
Hell yeah. I never played Rocco, but I played him in a couple tournaments pre-ban, like in Mox Master tournaments, and it was just like, he's an outlet, he's a food chain, he's a this, he does like all the birthing pod lines. Like, that deck was so crazy. Granted, it's still a deck, but it's just like,
It's 100% still a deck. There's a few pilots that still run great with it. Like R Smith, he is a European pilot. He is like he's doing amazing with it.
Good.
So yeah, the deck still has legs, 100%. Like, Dockside was not a crutch.
Hell yeah. I remember Baldur's Gate. I'm fairly new too. It was one of those Innistrad sets. I believe it was the one before the Crimson Vow. There's two of them.
Midnight
Yeah,
Hunt.
that was my first set, and then I started getting into competitive around Baldur's Gate. I remember I thought, because it was a Commander Legend set, I thought it was going to be the craziest set ever, so I bought like 3 collector booster boxes, and that set sucked. So I lost a lot of money on Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, no, I learned real quick that if I wanted to do good, just buy singles.
I like popping packs. I want to do it. You never make your money back.
Dude, it's the I could get this $100 card for $5. That really brings you in, you know.
What's the average like? Oh, I need this card from this set. Instead of getting it online for $40, I'm just gonna buy this $60 bundle, and I'll definitely get it. And then you don't, and you're just like, all right.
And then you're like, I gotta do it again. Like,
now I got bulk. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I feel like elephant in the CDH room right now is Thrasios.deck, cradle.deck. And I don't think Thrasios decks are like the very top, but I think Thrasios Raw could definitely go for top 3 right now, but people are starting to respect it. People are starting to Bezeju the Cradle. People are starting to put Assassin's Trophy back in their deck before the Cradle. I don't know if I'm there yet with Assassin's Trophy, but I'm definitely more aware. Like, we played some games, it wasn't last night, 2 nights ago, and I was definitely aware of you, but there's a game where I was on Narset, and I didn't do anything for 75 minutes, and you were just getting away with the game, so the Kennen player and the other guy just had to keep, it was like a 1v2 all game, and then you finally ended up not getting there, because Pact of Negation is a bad card, but...
Pact of Negation is only for your winning attempt, guys. Let's be honest.
So... But I mean, you were just like, I didn't realize. I have Thrasios Rog and I have 2 decks on it, and I was just playing it, and I was just like, Mantle Candelabra, and then the untapped lands, and then Manamo, and I'm like, this is crazy. And I played my game where I didn't have a lot of creatures, but I had a 1-ring out early, like either turn 1 or turn 2 1-ring, and I started to realize everything was untapping my fucking 1-ring. And I was like, I just draw 10. I was just like 6, 7, 8, 9. And I was like, I don't need Cradle at this point. I'm just playing fucking card draw, right?
Yeah.
And I just like, that's a whole archetype. And that's why I want to talk to you today about. I feel like CDH is wide open. People are like, oh, it's solved, or oh, it's dead. It's like, dude, this Thrasios Rog and Thrasios Yoshi are now possibly in the top 10, and they weren't a month ago. 2 months ago, they were nobody.
Yeah.
So it's just like crazy for me to think of that. So kind of what's your thoughts? Like, why'd you pick up Thras Yoshi and not the other Thrasios decks? Because we're about to get into it. There's about 10 of them.
Yeah. I actually started off with Bruce
Hmm.
Thrasios. Like 3 months ago, I put the deck together. I took apart Rocco, put Bruce Thrasios
Yeah.
together, and and like my play group was just like, brother, you're only running 3 red cards. That was Deflecting Swat, Gamble, and Breach.
Hmm.
They're like, bro, just do like a Bant thing, right?
Hmm.
And so I built Yoshi Thras, and it was like right around the time that Kai built his list. This was right before like the whole like cradle method like launched off as fast as it could.
Hmm.
So I started cooking with Yoshi Thras, and I started trying to make this like Bruce Thras build, but in Bant, and like, and that's what I was doing. And then the cradle meta hit, and I'm like, that's really cool. And so a lot of the Yoshi Thras players went to the Cradle Medal. A lot of the Yoshi Thras players also was like, no, we don't like that,
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't want to do just Rock Thras stuff in Yoshi Thras. Because that's, I want to utilize the white.
Right.
Because like in white, we have some of the best like infinite mana outlets, right? Because like, every Simic deck is going to have Kid and Basalt, but we have Emil Derevi, we have Emil Cloud of Fairies, we have Swift Druid
And
line,
the silence
and
effects. Like,
and the silence effects.
you
Yeah,
just got another
do
silence.
voice. Yeah, Voice of Victories is real. If you're trying to do a cradle thing and you want to be in white, Voice of Victories is
White
the
has
card.
been probably the best comeback story in the last 2 years. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, it was like, ew, why are you playing white? There's no card draw. And then why are you doing this? Okay, I have a Granite Ball. Sure, I have S%. Okay, cool. I have a Silence. That's cool. And now it's just starting to get. Azorius Postban is really good now, right? And now it's now
Yeah.
banned. Like, Derevi was a thing, right? But that was about it, to be honest. And then it's been like Fringe. And then, yeah, like I agree. Like, green's the best it's ever been. White's the best it's ever been, right?
Blue's always been the best.
100%.
Like,
It's always been blue, black, and
yeah,
everybody else. And now
yeah.
it's leaning towards like white and black are fighting for that second best color. I think, in my opinion, white is the best support color.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like the black does have like the free tutors and
Yeah.
all that, but white makes up for it in like the resiliency and what it does,
Right.
right? Because like in black, like you're getting like the rituals and the
Tutors. Yeah.
tutors, but whereas white is like it's hard. Like I feel like it's harder to interact with some of the white pieces because most of the stuff that happens in white is on creatures,
Mm.
and creatures is always hard to interact with
Mm.
at the.
Right. And then you throw
But
some cradle in there. And
yeah,
that's fine.
so I was about to get to that, and then like then I saw like candelabra. I'm like, well, I want to do some of this, but like I can't do the what was it, the Song of Creation that they run because that's a teamer card. I can't do
Yeah.
this, and I didn't want to do Chatterstorm because I'm not storming off like they are.
Mm.
There's this 1 mana drop card that people call Fringe, but I think is actually pretty cool.
Mm.
It's called Nature's
Mm.
Chosen. Okay, Nature's Chosen says for 0 mana, tap enchanted creature to untap any artifact, creature, or permanent, just or anything. You can even untap a land. Well, guys, Cradle
Well,
for free, a free untap.
and Nature's Chosen is 1 mana, right?
Yeah, it's 1 mana, and then for 0 mana, you can untap your creature to hold up for another activation on another turn, and that's if your creature's white. Well, that works amazing with Yoshi Thras because Yoshimaru is a 1 mana white creature.
Mm.
And stuff like that. Like the synergy was just there, so I put a couple of pieces in, and that's where the deck I got now is like it's just like Thrasios like in itself was always been like a strong
Mm.
card. I feel like people kind of tried to get off the Thrasios whenever Bowmasters came out because like, oh well, Thrasios is a dude. You might get 3 draws and he's dead because of Bowmasters.
Mm.
And yeah, like honestly, 100% Bowmasters is a problem, but we're like I don't really see a Bowmasters in this meta anymore, which is surprising to me because I figured people would be more on Bowmasters now that Dockside's gone. That now you can like have more time to
Mm.
really control the board with it.
Well, I don't. I'll push back a little bit. I think so. I did 3 tournaments last month. I did a 5K, a 7K. I traveled to Charlotte, the 5K. I did a 7K local, and then I did like a 1K. And in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, a month ago, in those 3 tournaments, Ristic Study and Orcish Bowmaster were the issues. right? So now, a month later, I feel like those black dot decks are like not fading away, but now we're starting to realize Bant and Teemer and Azorius and this and that
Yeah.
are starting to be played more. Like you do, I don't think you absolutely need black. But again, you look at the top three decks. Is Blue Farm is back to number one, and then it's Cannon
Hmm.
TNT, and two of those decks have black in it, and both those decks love Bowmaster. So I wouldn't sleep on that. But I definitely agree where you could be in a pod, like definitely in the Swiss rounds, you can be in a round or two without seeing black, without seeing a Bowmaster. Before it was everybody's playing Rockside, everybody's playing Blue Farm, everybody's playing blah 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 blah, and it's like fuck, everyone's like, and when Bowmaster got printed for like 8 months, people were horny. People were tooting for
Yeah.
Bowmaster. People were like, oh my god, I need to do this, right? So I definitely see what you're saying, but it's more like what I like about Thrasrog and Thrasios is I talked to Wounded last week, and he was saying, you know how many
Hmm.
times I've been board wiped and I just rebuilt? Because he has
Yeah.
0 mana commander. You have a 1 mana commander. You have, okay, I'll do this. And that new goddamn green tutor that we didn't fucking need is fucking.
It is a 1-card combo.
Yeah. Yeah, Wounded he's telling me about his top 16 game, and he was like, I wasn't winning. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever. I top deck like a tutors or a clone. So he's like, I'll clone your ranger captain. With my ranger captain, I'll get a mockingbird. My mockingbird, I'll clone my ranger captain. So now I have two ranger captains, and now I'm gonna get like a birds of paradise. And now my cradle's turned online again.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's so free. It's like, dude, like if as long as we can tap like 2 or 3 mana, dude,
yeah.
it's so easy to rebuild boards in green now.
100%. And I think that's probably in those cradle decks. I think the weakness is the black decks because they could just go demonic tutor under a reach win.
Yeah, no,
Demonic
100%.
tutor,
Like,
Orcish Bowmaster, toxic deluge. Like those are the decks. But again, Rock Thras is top 3, top 4 right now against those. Even though Blue Farm is the best deck, Kennen is still crazy ass fucking Kennen. But like the best thing I took from that pod with Wounded is he said, I was sick and tired in Kennen. Kennen's still busted and that's his baby, but I was sick and tired to politic my ass off to let anything resolve. He's like, Thrasios Rograk, nobody counters my spells. Like, they fucking suck.
No.
Like,
dude, if they counter it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
In either deck, it doesn't matter because
Right.
we just have because we have so many copies of each different like type of like
your
progression of
redundancy,
piece.
you're like, you have
Yeah.
what, 6, 7, 8 tutors for Cradle?
Yeah.
Okay, blow up my Cradle. Damn, next turn, a turn to win is Cradle. Like, you have 2 removals
Yeah.
for Cradle?
Noxious-
There's no way.
Yeah. Noxious Revival, Savine's Reclamation,
So many.
Underworld Breach for the teamer decks.
Yeah.
Six is
Shifting Woodlands?
Shifting
Fuck.
Woodlands.
God damn. It's just so funny. 6 months ago,
Dude,
green
and
was the worst color. And now green is like...
Where it should be.
Why don't you have green in your deck? Give me an excuse. Okay, you're on Blue Farm. Okay, what else? Like, green is so goddamn good because of that, right? But anyways, so I'm gonna go through before we get into Thrasios, which we got to talk about. But let's kind of talk about not just the resurgence of Thrasios, because I felt like he's always been one of the boogeyman's, right? I feel like Thrasios Temna have been the boogeyman's for sure. And like Thrasios Temna was the deck, and then Breach got printed, and then people went to Blue Farm, right?
Yeah. I have my play group is a lot of the big veterans online. So I have a Jamaican dude in my play group. I have LJ Vanguard of Tress, my play group, Jacoby, my play group. All these like big time, like multi-year, like just titans in this format.
Right.
And trust me, I've heard the stories of Flash Hulk days and Hulk days.
Yeah. Well, like when I got into 3 years ago, it was just like jam any partner. Like Thrasios Crom was good. Thrasios Krark was a deck. Thrasios Dargo was one of the best decks a year ago.
Dargo Thras, shout out to Snazerific, my middle midget, and Freedom Waffle for really putting that deck on the table.
Thrasios, like what I like about Thrasios as the card is I can grind. It's 2 mana and I can grind, right?
and it's a
And
Timna blocker.
well, that we're not talking about. I hate Timna. I've always hated Timna, but just it's 2 mana. It can grind. It's really good in the late game, and it's an outlet. There's nothing else like it. There's not a 2-color commander like that, and it's a partner. Like, I'm thinking about brewing a fucking Thrasios deck. Like, just Simic Thrasios, and just to show why it's so good. Just to teach lessons, because it is. And then you can put any other partner you want with it.
Yeah, so there's a guy, he's brewing Thrasios Kodama right now.
Yep.
And it's actually pretty,
Kodama,
it's not like, top tier, but it's pretty fucking, spicy.
I saw Kodama Ishai deck, top 16, the Heisenberg. And that got me thinking of Kodama. Because just to cast a Ristic Study, cheat in a Grand Abolisher, I was like, holy shit. Like, I think Kodama's going to be on the rise, too, because green's on the rise. Back on Thrasios a little bit, I want to talk about Thrasios Bruce, like you said. A year ago, before the bans and for Bowmaster, that was a top deck. Thrasios Bruce is fucking scary. Maybe not now, but it's still a deck, right? And that's just a random Thrasios deck.
Especially Breach is still a strong
it's the
combo,
only reason
and
why you're
Gift
playing
Ungiven
red is because of Breach.
Yeah,
Breach is
and Gift Ungiven does Gift Ungiven is fucking busted, by the way.
I couldn't agree more. I'm playing the old Narset in our game 2 nights ago. So I had a mold of 5, turn 2 Narset if I hit a land drop. All game, never hit the land. Never got the 3rd pip. So for 75 minutes, don't do nothing. And then I look at my turn. He's dead. Those 2 are fighting it out. I'm watching TV. I'm chilling on my phone. And I look up and I'm like, I got a mystical tutor. Oh. All right. Oh, shit, y'all didn't win. There's 10 minutes left in the round. Mystical Tutor gets Ungiven. Cast gets Ungiven. I'm going for the win. They hit me with Endurance. And I'm like, how do I not do anything for 80 minutes and I almost win just because of Gifts Ungiven?
Off of one
If that
card.
was Intuition, it wouldn't have worked. Gifts Ungiven was the only card I could have possibly gotten there and almost won. That card's fucking busted. And Jeskai's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with
dude, that was awesome. I was kind of rooting for you because I died to my pack trigger. And I was like, man, dude, I don't want I don't want no Timna Dargo to win or something like that. I want this Jeskai. Let's just spice it up.
Let's show why Gibson Given should have been banned.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, so we got Thrasios Vile and Thrasios Francisco. Those are decks as well for some reason. Thrasios Vile's 4-colored pile. Thrasios Francisco, I don't personally like it because I'm a Tevish diehard, but it still has combos in the deck.
Yeah, and it can do the cradle stuff pretty well because Francisco is another low drop commander that is just easy to get out. Also, shout out to D-Mage and DX Reaper for not DX Reaper, DX Reaper for starting this deck off when Francisco got released. Those 2 jumped on the deck and cooked hard with it, and the Ballista
lines are real.
So shout out.
I personally don't like Francisco because I think if you're gonna do that, Thrasios Tevish is just better. But for some reason, Tevish is underrated and nobody likes him. Besides me, I'm the only idiot.
It's a 5-mana non creature commander that feels bad when it gets strict serenaded or force a negation. So
or it's a win con.
yeah.
It's a card draw win con, and if I cast deep glow skate and you guys are like, what the fuck is about to happen? And I'm like, thank you, I'll take your Thrasios, I'll take your Timna, I'll take your Kennen. I appreciate it. But I've always die hard. So yeah, Thrasios Tevish too. That's right now I'm on a mid-range version. I'm kind of playing with the list a little bit. But a buddy of mine I'm about to have on in a couple weeks, they keep top 16 tournaments with Thrasios Tevish Cradle. It's literally Thrasios Yoshi but in black, and it's you just want to tutor for your Cradle the regular way instead of playing Expedition Map.
Yeah, you see, I'm also not on Expedition Map.
Right. That card's so bad. But that's what I'm saying. Thrasios in any color pairing is so goddamn good. And then I want to talk about Thrasios fucking Timna. Like, that's a top 3 deck, and it's only a top 3
Yeah.
deck because Thrasios is the outlet. Tymna is cool and all. It's not better than Blue Farm, but you have that, I have Flood Color, I have Retraction Helix, I have this, I have Hazel Brewmaster. It's all because
Hazel,
it's all because of Thrasios. And that deck loves the late game. That deck just wants to sit behind Thrasios and Tymna. It doesn't have the Blue Farm button where you just go Underworld Breach, blah, 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 blah. No, it just wants to sit back and relax because of Thrasios. And if that doesn't tell you anything, right? Like,
I mean, that's the meta we're in now. It's like people are all sitting back behind,
and that's Thrasios
the draw
Tymna,
engines.
100%.
Yeah.
That's if that doesn't tell you anything about Thrasios, and then let's talk about Thrasios ROG a little bit. Like, that's for me. Before the ban, I played like a crazy sneak attack version with Kennen, and it just wasn't good. And then people have slowly been playing this Thrasios ROG list, and then they've been going, what's the set with the squirrels that came out? Bloomburrow. That set I think made this deck. Those cards where you make more squirrels and you untap rats, and then you can make like Chatterstorm effects good now. I feel like that set put this deck over the top, and now it's starting to grow. And now we're building Thrasios. What's going to be the next Thrasios deck, Cradle deck, in 2 weeks because of Thrasios ROG, right?
Because I can remember before the bans when I was still on Rocco's, like I would sit down and somebody's like, "Well, I'm playing ROG Thras." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I mean, I'm not really like. Of course, I'm worried because it's red decks are explosive with Dockside. I'm not like focusing on you because like in my plan, like I can definitely execute my plan faster. Now you sit down with a ROG Thras, you got to mull aggressively for some kind of like like to either keep up with them or to like. Yeah. Or like to slow them down because that deck is no joke. Yeah, like there's a reason why people are saying it's in the top 3 now.
100%, and it's one of those decks where you can't just be like, okay, they're just dirtling. The difference of Thras ROG and Thras Tymna is it could just explode. It can just go, oh, okay, is it my turn? Boom. It's like, holy shit, what just happened? And I feel like Thrasios Yoshi, after playing against it, it has that similar, but it isn't banned. It doesn't have that I win button. But I feel like Thrasios Yoshi is more TNT in a play of, no, I'm a turn slower than the Thras ROG, but I'm probably more resilient than Thras ROG because I have Cavern Souls on human, cool. Like, Thras ROG doesn't have that, right? Thras ROG has to fight through the fight. And you're just like, I'm chilling. It's 3rd-4, Voice of Victory, any interaction, boom. Like, it's over. Like the game we played, you had a Voice of Victory out. I Odawared it. You cast Grand Abolisher. That fucking resolved. Or no. We ended up.
It got countered.
And you're like, fuck, man, this is aggravating. Okay. Oh, Voice of Victory? Oh, I still got it. And I'm like, fucking what? Yeah. We tried so hard. And I had a Fierce Guardianship. And I'm just like, shit. Like, that's how White is so good. Oh, you countered my Grand Abolisher? How dare you? Voice Victory, is that cool? Are we going to win? All right, sweet. And I'm just like, fuck! Yeah. That's when I was like, all right, Thrasios, she's good. All right.
Yeah, Thrasios is really good.
All right, let me go ahead. What do you got?
But like I said, no, do ROG Thras. So here's my thing on it. It's like right before the bans, we got this great boogeyman of Nadu come out, and it's just the value train, and that's the vibe I'm getting from these new ROG Thras decks. It's just value train Nadu. You're not. It's not like as free, obviously, but dude, it does the same thing, and it's just as scary.
Yeah, and I think Thras ROG, the control version too. I think the one that Wounded's playing, where you're just playing 20 counter spells.
Yeah,
and you're just
that's how he played Nadu as well. Yeah. Like he had like 20 fucking counter spells. Like bro said, nobody gets to play the game but me. Yeah. Like,
and then also my favorite thing too with that deck, it's like, oh darn, I got stopped. This sucks. Blows Underworld Breach. Cool, I win.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Right? Yeah, dude, frustrating.
100%. So let's talk about, I got to go actually pretty soon. So I want to talk about this deck. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
So Ferd, 4, Wendy's. So for the audio listeners, everyone knows what Thrasios does, but Yoshimaru is a 1-mana legendary creature dog. Whenever another legendary permanent enters the battlefield, put a counter on it, which is probably irrelevant, but it is a 1-mana creature, 1-mana legendary that can do some crazy shit and helps with cradle, right? And it gives you white. That's
Yeah.
the most important part. So before we dive straight in, I want to point out the white cards because a lot of people are horny for Thras Frog right now. So you're giving up the red cards. You got Esper Sentinel, Ogma, which are one of the best fucking draw engines. You got Emil, which is probably one of the best ways to win in this deck. You got Ranger Captain. You got Derevi, is insane. Voice of Victory, Grand Abolisher effects. Bright Glass Gear Hulk, which he was telling me before, it's like, okay, I'll just get my Candelabra and my Bird or my Nature's Chosen, my Swift Con. Like, that's a win con in itself, right? And we got Wargate, 3 mana get my Cradle, or 5 mana get my win con, right? You got removal with white, you got Swift Con, you got Smothering Tithe, one of the best decks in the format, right? So kind of go through this deck, not just on white. What would appeal this to someone playing Thrashrog or not doesn't want to play Thrashrog, wants to play Thrasios?
So if you want a Thrasios deck and you're not really, you don't really want to do like the Timna Thras because like, you don't like the 4-color deck.
The deck is
like
boring.
that, and you want to yeah,
TT
it's boring.
is so boring.
Like apologies to Jacoby. He's a long time fan of the deck, but the deck is
it's
boring.
so boring.
And like you just want something that you're still doing, like you're still sitting back and you're just you're trying to do your stuff. Ban Thrasios is like in a spot where like you're doing all the stuff that these 4-color decks are doing. You just don't have that 4th color to have to muddle up your colors with. You're still doing like sit back and you're grinding it out the game. Like you're going off. Like you have the ability to go off turn 2 if you have the right hand, obviously. But like you're able to like put a major like advantage engine down by turn 2, and then turn 3 it's almost free just about every time. And if you want to go, if you don't, you have enough to be able to like put the board into your favor to get to that turn 4 as well. Like you have many good like just straight value pieces that you can run even in white.
Yeah, look
like
at these creatures.
Like he said, yeah, and like even in like let's say you don't care about white, you like the Simic is probably the strongest color pairing right now.
100%.
In my
100%.
opinion.
No one can argue that.
Like you can do like kit and stuff in this deck. You can do Kennen. You can do like you said, Derevi is really good in this deck. You can, like if there's anything that's going on in Simic, you can do in this deck, and it still mesh well because you have just like it's just good stuff, right? You get to play like things like Neoform. You can Neoform your Yoshi into Biomancer's Familiar if you're on it. You can Wargate into like whatever you need, and then you also get the protection of green that it gives you if you want to do that with Velasummer, LQR. You get the silence effects of white, and you get the counter spells of blue. Like it just everything that makes you want to play CDH. That's the deck, right? That's what you like to do. Like if it's creature combo, it's non creature combo. It's just combo deck.
Yeah, and I noticed you're not on a lot of counter spells. You're only on 10. So is this
No.
deck? It's mid range, right? But is this deck just resilient? You don't need the counter spells.
It's not only that, but like I am under the full like to me. Mid-range doesn't mean control. Mid-range is you sit down and you use your interaction pieces at the most opportune time. But you're what you are looking for, not to control the board, just to gain advantage from what people are doing. So you sit back there's one time one of our games I tapped out for a Seedborn to go get a Seedborn, and like I was only getting like 1 to 2 cards a turn cycle, and then there's another deck in our game that was like popping off, and I was able to politic and say, hey, look, I mean, you can counter if you want to, but this gives me ability to try to like do an advantage stuff or maybe control it.
Our game.
And I was able, I was able to get back to my turn, but just by having that that mid range feel to where you can if you wanted to, but you don't have to.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be the fun police right now, but later it's a problem for sure.
Yeah.
But like, Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have that on the channel. This is not a control deck. This is a mid-range deck to its core, and this is the difference of mid-range and control. Control is I want to stop my opponents because I'm doing an inherently broken thing to slow it down, like Italian deck or a Tiva deck, and then I'm gonna play my combos. This deck is like no. I need one, maybe two counter spells, and then I'm gonna win because my deck is my deck. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you let the Gearhulk resolve, or a Kitten, or a Meal, or a Vitality, or a Kennan, any of those haymakers resolve, and you're trying to win the game.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about? Okay, you are in Talent Gates. I talked about it last week, but I want to talk about it a little bit with you. Is Breeze Caller just like the main way to win with the deck?
Breeze Color is a good way to win the deck. It's not the main way. It's not what I'm like mainly going for. Like if I just have it and like let's say I'm just doing Thrasios stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm able to like flash in Breeze Collar, it's a good way to like instant speed win, like get the instant speed in main infinite mana. But this deck doesn't really. I'm gonna get some backlash probably for this. This deck doesn't really need the Obro lines. It's just that
It's just that
good
good
that
where
you're
you're playing it. Yeah, you
yeah
need 6 creatures, Oboro, and Talon Gates,
Talon
and you get
Gates. Yeah.
infinite mana. Keep bringing your Talon Gates in, and then Thrasios. So that's probably the difference in the teamer deck. It's either Breach or this, and that's how you're winning. In this deck, you have Derevia Meal, and that's probably your best way, right?
Either Derevia Mill or Emil and Cloud of Fairies.
Yeah, Cloud of Fire is probably just one of the best cards in your deck for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So when you mulligan and play this deck, are you just tutoring for Cradle?
So
Whenever I can get Cradle out,
I can. I mean, it makes the deck go faster, but I guess on our last game, I don't think I had Cradle out until like turn 3, or had a way to get Cradle turn 3, and I was still able to like gain my advantage. Like it's good. Like I have pieces I can get to it, but what I like about with my Cradle tutors is they're also like versatile to like maybe I don't need Cradle at this time. I can go get something else that progresses another advantage,
yeah,
and then I can go and get that.
right.
But so I'm not like my mindset's not like let's get Cradle out as soon as possible. My mindset was when I'm mulling, I'm looking for like 3 things. I'm looking for like a little bit of interaction for protection if I go for a win con, a good draw engine, some ramp, and a little and just maybe a combo piece or maybe a way to get a combo piece. So that's what I look for when I'm
I do see
mulligan.
you're on like a lot of the flash effects, and
Yeah, I'm on High Fae and I'm on Born Upon Wind, and I'm not on E Zone. I'm on Alchemist Refuge.
I don't see a flood collar in the list.
No, I don't do a lot of non creature storm.
Okay.
Like if you'll notice, most of my combos is actually creature combos. Flood Color doesn't really do that much for me.
I have one question for the deck. I haven't played the deck. It's just I'm curious. You probably don't need it because of Voice of Victory, but I feel like this is a really good kitten deck, right? So why not throw the Teferi in? Because it's a combo, another way to win in Bant, and then also it's another silence effect. So that'd be like 5, 6 silence effects. It's just not good enough.
It could be like if that's what you want to do, it could be. I've never really been partial to like the fairy kitten combos, and the reason why is that if you're because I base myself off of how much mana is needed to start the combo from 0, right? If you look at most of the combos I'm running, I don't really need that much mana, maybe like 5 mana with and then like because like Derevi untaps, Kata Fairies untapped, so I don't really need that much mana. With Kitten and Teferi, I need a 0-drop rock that or a low cost rock that makes more mana than its cost, a Kitten and a Teferi just from the start. So you're looking at what 7-8 mana from 0 to go off.
Yeah.
So that's
and you gotta
why.
cast a lot of spells, right? Yeah, and the deck can
Yeah.
kind of win without doing that. Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, wait. I probably would be on it just because Bant, it's really hard to win. But again, I haven't played the deck, and I see what you're saying. You're only at 9 rocks, right? Or not even. You're an 8 rock, 7
Yeah,
rocks.
I'm on 9 rocks. I'm a
Well,
9.
One Ring and Candelabra.
Oh yeah, rocks wise. Yeah, because
Yeah. And
technically
it doesn't really work with Mox
candelabra.
Diamond, right? Or Chrome. Well, maybe like you need a Soul Ring. Yeah, I can see why you're not on it now. I'm looking at your artifacts, and like you're, yeah. And that's a big thing I wanted to say. The biggest difference with this and Thrasrog is on Birds of Paradise, and then that's really it for Mana Dorks, and they're not on Kennen. And I was talking to him about that. He's like, we don't want Kennen because this and this is this deck wants Kennen. This deck thrives
Mm-hmm.
with Kennen because you're on
Dude, Kennen
6 or 7
a
what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rocks with a Mockingbird or not rocks, Mana
yeah
Dorks, and you're on Sanctum Weaver. Like I feel like this is a
yeah.
great Kennen deck with the Enduring Vitality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's 100% Kennen is an acceleration.
you're not
piece
on
in
Basalt
this deck.
Monolith?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Oh man, that's rough. Okay. All right.
Hey, so the basalt thing is it's more of a mindset of like when you have basalt, if you're in a non-Kennen deck, basalt just feels bad if you don't have a way to get Kennen. It's a 3 mana rock that you tap for 3 that you can't untap. Like it's a
Yeah.
I call it it's a grim monolith at home.
Yeah.
But so like you have to have a way to get Kennen or have Kennen out for basalt to work, and have in a deck that where Kennen is not your commander. It's just it does make it muddle in my
It's
opinion.
just you have so many creature tutors. We can agree to
Mm.
disagree. I just feel like I feel like Basalt Monolith is free in this deck. Yeah, it's a dead card, but so is Thoracle and Blue Farm. But they're not gonna not play Thoracle. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like with one of the better creatures in your deck, that's easy to tutor. But again, you're not in tutor colors, right? You're in Bant. Like how are you getting Basalt Monolith?
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is pretty solid. Is there any cards because you are practicing for a tournament? Is there any cards that you're in and out of that you're kind of testing?
So I've been pulling in and out
Biomancer's really good.
swapping. Yeah, so I've been swapping between Biomancers and Training Grounds. I've been swapping
You play
between
both. Fuck.
I could play both.
100%.
I'm actually like I've thought about playing both, but I'm gonna try out just doing one maybe because like I've noticed that a lot of people like perk up a whole lot more. You drop the bomb and figure out okay, here's Training Grounds as well. Oh yeah, he's definitely the problem
Yeah.
now, and then like everything
Well, I
gets
think
hit
you just
towards
need
you.
one
And,
of those effects, and then you just want
yeah,
some redundancy. But again, you play the deck, and I don't.
yeah. So I'm also testing out like I said, Nature's Chosen. I just put back in the deck. I'm trying
That
to
card
see
seems
if like
fucking busted in this deck. Because
yeah,
you have one mana Yoshi, right? That's the hard part with Nature's Chosen
hmm
is a lot of people don't have that in the command zone. I feel like
yeah,
that's a slam dunk in this deck, and that card's gonna win you games.
yeah. It does like good almost every percent of the time. I've tested out Shurikai with Manifold Key. That's actually a pretty funny
Mm-hmm.
because like you have Shurikai with Manifold Key in Seedborn use. That's 4 cards per turn cycle,
Mm-hmm.
just without activating Thrasios.
Okay.
I've tested. I've done some testing like in and out and
I
tweaking, and
see.
I'm still doing
Yeah, I
tweaking.
see two huge cards you're not on that you got some explaining to do.
Okay.
Shifting Woodlands, I feel like it's just free in your deck, and Earthcraft. I feel like the Earthcraft combos are like the best thing that you could be doing now.
Yeah. So in the reason I'm not on Earthcraft is I'm not on any basics.
Hmm.
And my biggest problem is my color fixing, which is why I
Really?
swapped out shifting for yes. Like there are a lot of the games that I've lost is because I could not fix my colors.
Your mana base is
So
perfect. Besides, like,
yeah, it is now. Like I just tweaked it last night, and now it looks great. Before I was on like 60% colorless lands basically because between the fetches and the colorless lands, like
yeah,
I only run 6 fetchable.
yeah.
So I cut a couple of fetches, put in Yava Maya, put in Exotic Orchard, I put in Arbor Elf because like Arbor Elf is just basically free with Yava Maya. And like I Earthcraft is good in Rogcraft because they're doing a lot of the basic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like the basic, but like I'm not on like that package itself. So Earthcraft just being in the deck doesn't seem as strong as in like let's say Rockthras
Okay.
because Rockthras has the ability to go further
Well, I
into
feel
it.
like you could just let go of the Yavimaya Arbor Elf and Rejuvenating Springs, and then you could just play Forest Island and that. But yeah, I mean, it's just how you feel, right?
Hmm.
I mean, the deck's solid, right? Me personally, I think Bioman is probably a snap, and then that's about it. Like, this deck's fucking good, and also I do think that Thras is solved, and I don't think this deck is solved.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, you're
you
100% correct.
probably have easily 5 cards that can go in and out. Thras is pretty much like, this is what we're doing. A couple people have a card or two, but I feel like someone could take this list within 5 to 10 cards, to switch it and still do good. You know what I mean? Like, this
Hmm.
deck is not solved 100%. And
Yeah,
but
so
that's awesome.
like
That just means you're going up. You're not going to go down. The deck isn't going to get worse. It's just going to get better.
yeah. Like right now, there's like legitly, in all honesty, three like complete separate archetypes of the deck
Yeah.
because we have three. Because we have Kai, he's running his like I'ma just win with combos deck
Yep.
where like turn two he's got a combo piece and he's done really great with it. We got Ian who just top forward and he's playing the more of like the Bruce Thras without the Bruce type of
Right.
list, which is kind of like mine. Like we're like I want to say like within like 12 to 14 cards different
Mm.
on our decks, and then we have the all in. We're doing Rock Thrash and White type deck archetypes.
Mm.
And like I said, the deck's getting the love like Rock Thrash did with the evolution, but we're still in the Wild West because like Rock Thrash is an old deck, you
Mm.
know. It's or not Rock Thrash. Yoshi Thrash is an old deck.
Right.
Like, but
Just
it
play
used to be like
rule
an
along, right?
evolution. It was a Staxy kind of
Staxy
like
rule
rule of
law
law
deck. Yeah.
deck that like you just neoformed your Yoshi into your
Yeah,
Winkies.
but that
eventually.
deck never really got legs though. That deck was never like off the ground tournament wise.
No, I don't think it really won anything until after the bans
Yeah,
hit.
100%. So I gotta go pretty soon. So one more thing, I do want to do a disclaimer on this deck, right? Like my channel, I try to poke for newer players to get into CDH, and people are like, you know what, I want to try Thrasios. Let me watch this video. So, two things. I think this deck has a lot of potential, and like I just said, I think we're just going up from here. I feel like in 2 months, this
Mm-hmm.
deck's just going to get better. With Rock Thras and Timna Thras, they're just here. But you have to tell people, especially new players, I feel like this is a high skill deck
Yes.
for sure. You could pick this deck up and play casually with your friends and do this and do that, but I feel like if you don't have 10 to 20 games with this, I feel like you're going to kind of get hurt because you need to know the meta. You need to know what's going on. This deck, you can't just play solitaire. You need to be like, you know what? I'm pretty sure they have interaction and they're just going to stop what I'm trying to do. Let me, like you said, there's a game where you had Cradle turn 1, turn 2. There's a game that Cradle was your winner. Cradle was turn 4, turn 5, and you just won. So I feel like the better player you are, the more you play this deck, the more you understand this archetype, the more you understand the meta. If you agree,
Yeah.
I think the better the deck's going to perform for you. What do you think? And do you have any advice for someone picking this deck up?
Oh, so yeah, I do agree. Because like I said, I with the experience I have with Rocco, and Rocco's the same way. Like you have to like have the time in the deck to know the deck,
Right.
and
Right.
you know even having the time like knowing like having the time and experience with the deck that does that. My win rate has tanked these past 2 months when I've been playing this deck because of it's a high ceiling. Yeah, like the concept is low for like
It's a-
newer
it's
players.
a
Like
learning
understand,
curve.
you know. Yeah, it's 100% a learning curve. My best advice for this deck is when you go to look at this deck, um, find the deck that does the thing the simplest,
Mhm.
and then do that. Do not try, and this is gonna sound very gatekeepy. Do not try to do your own thing yet.
Right. Don't just take this
Yeah.
list and throw your 15 pet cards in it. Take the
Yeah.
list and play it and see what you like, what you don't like. That's the biggest thing,
Mhm.
especially you could do that with a Tivit and a Blue Farm, right? With this deck, kind of hone in on the idea of the deck, right? Like, because
Yeah.
it's so
And
inherently busted.
I cannot like jive in onto the whole mindset of if you are playing this deck, you are not the police. You interact at the
You're not a
most
control
like
deck.
you learn. Yeah, you are not a control deck, and you know, but
Save
also
that
like,
interaction.
yeah,
You're gonna need it because you're gonna be the problem because your Seaboard Muse is gonna be like,
yeah,
"Hey, get rid of
and
me." You're like, "No."
yeah, and like I said, with the moles, like you're in you're not gonna have the explosive turn 3 that you think you're gonna
Right.
have in like most CDH decks, and don't get discouraged. That is the biggest advice I can give you. You're gonna take the licks. You're gonna take the
Yeah.
losses. Like I said, my win rate has tanked down to. I was at like, and I'm in a league server right now. You just joined it recently, and I was sitting at a good like 31% win rate, and then I started playing No Shit Thras. I'm down to 25.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's how much it's
you're
tanked.
gonna come up though. Like already
Yeah,
playing with
yeah.
you, there's a learning curve, but now you know the mistake. I played Thrasrog that second game, and I was like, I'm pretty sure if Wounded or somebody had my hand, and they win here, but I
Mhm.
don't know what to do here. So what I did, my dumbass went, you know what? I'm just gonna song creation and go for it. I think I have the win here, and then I whiffed. What I should have done is cast my Seaborn Muse with my Wondering on 7, and just kept going with the game instead of going, no, I need a song creation now. Like, no, I didn't. No one was trying to win. I was the threat. So I need to be like, let me just play Seaborn Muse and then win next rotation and just be
Yeah.
unstoppable. But I was like, no, I need to play song creation. And like, that's frustrating, but now I know. Like no one can tell you, hey, do this, do that. You have to learn decks like this. It's not Blue Farm where I cast Grand Abolisher, Underworld Breach, yay! Like,
Mhm.
no, I need to sequence my spells. It's kind of I've been playing Modern with my buddies lately, and I don't like Modern, but I realize that format is not forgiving. If you make one mistake, if you're
You're
if
dead.
you're playing tournament or RCQs or whatever, and even if you're playing the top 5 decks, if you make one mistake, you're done. You're done.
Mhm.
If you don't sideboard right, like there's one issue. So that's where decks like this is. It's high risk, high reward. Yeah, it's not cute. Yeah, it's not, oh my god, I just win because my cards say I win like 10 Thrasios. No, you have to grind your teeth, but it's fulfilling. Just like Ian said, this deck is fucking good. And this deck is terrifying and a fucking good pilot. Like Kai, I'm gonna be like, he's a threat. He's a threat. He's
Yeah.
playing Thrasios, and he's like, what? I haven't even untapped yet. And it's like, nope, he's a threat because that deck is so fucking strong.
Yeah, Kai's like, I don't know why I'll be there. Anyways, devoted your combo.
Yeah.
Like,
Derevi? Is Derevi cool? No, Derevi's not cool ever. That's a fucking busted magic card. So, was there anything else? Did you want to plug anything? I kind of go. I gotta go soon.
yeah. So if you want to catch me, I'm in like almost all the discords you can think of. I'm in I'm in TTB.
Yep.
I'm in Rec Room, which if you're in the Rec Room, go Steelers Doom of Fools Discord now. I'm down to jam games. I don't offer coaching, but if you ever want advice, I'm down to talk to you and talk things out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, and if you win the tournament in 2 weeks, we're getting you back on.
All right. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna go in there with the mindset that I'm gonna win, but we'll see what happens because there's a lot of good players out there.
I definitely just think you just gotta. The more you put in the deck, I feel like the more you're gonna get out. I think you should, if you're gonna take it serious and you really want to win, I think the next 2 weeks you don't have a social life, you don't have friends, you don't have a girlfriend. I think you play as much as you possibly can. You go to the local meta. If there's a 10-person Friday Night Magic tournament, you go to it, right? Like, I think as much Magic as you can to play it because this deck is, and like that is frustrating, right? Because you're like, well, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to chill. The deck is definitely harder to win, but it is inherently boasted, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're rooting for you at the Doom of Fools. You got this.
All right.
And all right, guys.
I got.
That's Wise. That's Thrasios Yoshi. We're going to have him back when he wins a tournament. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for the listen. Smash that subscribe button. I'm going to put his link down below and let him know if he made mistakes, if he's a bad player. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll DM him. But that's it, buddy. Thrasios is busted. Yoshi's a cute dog. We're out. See ya.